can do so much better. Dreams about you and me, wearing hearts at my sleeves. I can do so much better. So much better. So much better. Dreams are all that I need. I finally see I can do so much better. I can do so much I can do so much better. Are all that I need. I finally see I can do so much better. Dreams about you and me, wearing hearts at my sleeves. I can do so much better. So much better. So much better. Dreams are all that I need. I finally see I can do so much better. I can do so much I can do so much better.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You're kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you.
On this episode, we're going to be taking a look at doing a tasting and review of The Rock's Teremana Anejo right here on the Tequila Hombre, coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting and review of The Rock's Teremana Anejo. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, excuse me, I've already done a review of the Blanco and Reposado. I posted a link in the description below. Excuse me. So you guys can check that out later if you want. But let's talk a little bit about The Rock's Teremana. Now, I did go over production details in the last video. I'm going to go ahead and do that a little bit again this time for those of you that didn't watch the last video. So Teremana is made at NOM 1613, which is Distilleria Teremana de Agave. Okay. Now their distillery is kind of a different scenario than most other distilleries, where normally if you go to a distillery, it's a distillery by itself. Okay. So like if I go to El Pendio with Felipe Camarena. It's his distillery on the property, and then there's just agave fields and stuff around it, but it's just El Pendio. Or La Atenia for Carlos Camarena is just his distillery and agave fields and everything around his distillery. Same with like just about every other distillery that you go to. Well, Distilleria Teremana de Agave sits right smack on the property of another distillery called Producto Fino. Now, Producto Fino makes a bunch of different tequilas there. And they also have a huge machine called a diffuser there. And their diffuser is a machine that basically you can just take the whole agave, toss it into the machine instead of chopping it up and cooking it and stuff, and then it will actually blast it with steam and extract the starches, and then they worry about converting the starches to sugar after it gets out of the machine. So it's not necessarily a good way of producing tequila, but it's very inexpensive because it's very efficient. So it can produce tequila cheap, real cheap. And it's not great quality tequila, but you can get it cheap, right? And so that's one thing. So it's on this property, okay? So it's part of Producto Fino's property. So in this little area that they built for Teremana, they have brick hornos, they have copper pot stills, they have stainless steel tanks, and a roller mill for extracting all the sugars and stuff. So they have a lot of the equipment there to do tequila right. All right, so the question is, are they doing it right? Well, that's what we're here to kind of talk about. So the production methods, like I just said, just, brick ovens for cooking the agave, roller mills for extracting the sugar, stainless steel tanks for fermentation, copper pot stills for distillation. All right, so that's what they said they do it on this. So let's not waste any more time though, and let's get into the tasting. Now, the story of the brand, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has always been a tequila fan. He drinks a lot of Don Julio Real, it was his drink before. So he liked Don Julio stuff, and then decided he wanted to get into the tequila business. It's mostly because of what Clooney did, right? Because Clooney made $1 billion off of selling Casamigos. And so he really enjoyed drinking tequila and decided he wanted to do his own brand. So he started Teremana. Now, some things to note on the bottle. It says gluten-free, just so everybody knows. All tequila is gluten-free. There is no gluten in agave. And if it's 100% agave, it's got to be gluten-free. So every bottle of tequila you've ever had, unless it's a mixto, is gluten-free. Because even after it's distilled, because if they used wheat, it still wouldn't be in because it's distilled. So it would still be gluten-free. So it's all gluten. So don't buy into it's gluten-free. Every bottle of tequila you buy would be gluten-free. Okay. So I wanted to get that out on the thing too. Now, personally, I love The Rock, man. I love him. He is amazing. I'm a big fan of Moana. What can I say except you're welcome? I loved him in, what is that one movie where he was a quarterback who ended up finding out he had a daughter and she lived with him. She was bedazzled as football and he had a pit bull, and he's number one on the field and number one in your heart. I mean, I love that stuff. I'm a huge Rock fan. So loved him in Jumanji. He's great. I love him, and I think he's a very nice guy. He does some really super philanthropic things, and he's super nice person. So let's see what we think about his añejo. I know I wasn't a big fan of his his Blanco and Repo. So let's see what we get on the Anejo. I've had a lot of people say, have you tried the Anejo? We want to hear what you think about the Anejo. So that's one of the reasons why I am doing this review. So the aging on it, they don't give any details on the aging. They said it's just aged in white oak whiskey bourbon barrels, whiskey barrels. So I don't have any details on length. I know in order for it to be Anejo, it has to be over a year, right? And it's below 3 years. So 3 years is an extra Anejo, but they can still call an extra Anejo and Anejo if they want. You know, there's no. All right. So looking at this in the glass. It coats the glass nicely. There's some tears coming down from it, some legs. Looking at the color, it is a nice light brown, almost straw-like color on it, which looks good. No floaties or anything in there that I can detect, so it looks pretty good. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose. All right, on the nose, I get vanilla and caramel. That is all I get. I don't get any good cooked agave notes. I don't get any fruit or anything. I just get really strong vanilla and caramel. All right, so when that happens, what that typically means is that there's additives in it, okay? It smells like a vanilla cupcake. It does. And the reason being is because when you put additives into something, it excuse me. Let me take a drink of water here. When you put additives in something, it overwhelms everything else. It takes over. It becomes the dominant thing in it because these additives are made so they're so powerful, so strong. You don't need a lot of them for them to take over, but it comes up front. It takes over everything else. It just knocks everything else out of the picture. And in this case, it smells like a vanilla cupcake. Vanilla, lots of vanilla and caramel in it. And literally nothing else. It smells super sweet. So that is leaving me to believe they use additives in it. Now, the only way to really verify is to do the additive test. And if you guys want, I may do an additive test on this to check. But that would tell me if it has calming additives in it, which are glycerin and simple syrup and stuff like that. But it smells tremendously like a vanilla cupcake. There's vanilla and caramel in it. And that's it. So, all right, let's see what we get on the flavor profile. I get vanilla and caramel. And this bitterness at the end, a faint bitterness at the end. And that's it. This is flat. You know, normally if you watch my reviews, when I do a review, it's like I talk about, you know, you can taste fruit, you can taste the cinnamon and baking spices from the cooked agave. You can pick up, you know, all these different other things that you can detect in the flavor profile of this. For this, when I took a sip, it tasted like nothing at first. Nothing. It was like I was drinking almost straight ethanol. And then I got vanilla and caramel that came through, and then this bitterness that came through at the end. So, yeah, vanilla and caramel. That is it. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. But it doesn't taste like a good añejo, a good tequila. It's very sweet. Lots of vanilla. And then this bitterness that comes through at the end that I like to describe as diffuser funk. So I have no doubt in my mind that they're mixing diffuser juice into this. Because it has that funky bitterness that you get from diffusers. And one of the reasons why the diffusers give off this bitterness is because when they throw the whole agave in, they don't take out the parts that are bitter. There's a part when they cut the agave, there's a part at the top that they cut out, and that part, it adds bitterness to it. And they don't do that. And so I'm getting a bitterness at the end on this that is not good. But it also overwhelmingly vanilla and caramel on my tongue. So no doubt there's additives in there as well. And that's it. So this is not, if you're somebody who it's not even a good gateway into tequila. And the reason being is like, okay, well, if you want to drink something that's sweet and chocolatey and or caramel and vanilla-y, then this is a good thing for you to drink because it's sweet and stuff. If you want to drink tequila, this is not tequila, okay? This is not what tequila tastes like. So it's not tequila. It doesn't taste like tequila. It tastes like alcohol with caramel and vanilla flavoring in it is what it tastes like. It doesn't have any of the beautifulness from the agave or anything like that in this. It's very flat. Definitely additives in this. I have no doubt that it does. But it doesn't taste bad. So, it's like people will say, well, I really like the taste of it and stuff. It doesn't taste bad. It just doesn't taste like tequila. This is not what tequila tastes like. If you want to know what tequila tastes like, watch some of my other reviews that I give 5 agave to and stuff and pick up a bottle of that and try it. And you'll go, oh yeah, okay, I see what he's talking about. This is not tequila. And I'm not saying that too because The Rock owns this brand. I love The Rock. I wish it was fantastic. I wish it was great. I wish it tasted like tequila. I wish it honored the agave that spent between 5 to 8 years in the field maturing for this. I wish it did, but it doesn't. But the reason why they do this is because people will buy it because it's sweet and it tastes good, and they'll buy it because it tastes good. I mean, that's it. So my rating on this would be a 0 agave. 0. I'm not even going to give it 1. I'm going to give it 0 agave because this is nothing. It is just vanilla. I could make this with vodka and vanilla and caramel flavoring in my kitchen. And it won't have the bitterness on this that comes at the end. So I'm not a fan. I love The Rock. I still love The Rock. But this tequila is an epic no for me. And the fact, too, that it's $39.99 for the Anejo. Any Anejo that's spending a year in a barrel right now that's made with quality agave stuff cannot be sold for that cheap as well. So that's one thing too that you got to look at. I have one of my favorite añejos, small batch. It's $115 for a bottle because it's made naturally, real agave. Agave's not cheap; it's expensive. No additives in it. It's all natural, small batch. But You know, this is not. Other añejos that are really good, I recommend, are in the $60 to $80 range. $30 is $39.99 is telling you that there's something off. There's no doubt in my mind from the taste of it. It's got diffuser juice mixed in. Productofino is infamous for selling their juice to a lot of places around that area. I know several brands that buy from them. That's what they do, is they create agave vodka tequila type juice. They have a big vodka column still that they use to distill after it comes out of the diffuser, big tanks. They create the juice. It's dirt cheap, so they sell it to other distilleries that want to mix it in with theirs to make their stuff cheaper for you guys, so it's not as expensive as the good stuff, and they send it off to you with you not knowing what you're getting. And you think, hey, this is good because you'll drink it with lime and salt, or you'll put a ice cube in it, which makes it so the bitterness doesn't pop up, and then you drink it and say, well, it's not that bad, because it's not as bad as Jose Cuervo, which all of us know is got that really nasty bitter flavoring to it. This is not tequila. I please beg you, try some of the other tequilas that I recommend in here. Compare them against this. If you bought this, you think this is good, try it and you'll see what I mean. A lot more depth of flavor, a lot more character to a tequila that is made right and made the traditional way, the way that tequila's been made for generations. All right, so I'm going to step off my soapbox now. I wish it was good. I wish The Rock did a good tequila. If there's somebody that I really wanted to do a really good tequila, it would be him, because he's such a nice guy. I love the stuff he does. I love the person he was. I just wish he would have spent more time researching and finding, a brand that was going to be done the right way. So his face, I think he would light up if he would try a tequila that was done right and made the right way, and made where you can taste the culture and taste the passion and taste the history and stuff in it. And of course, taste the agave that, suffered out there in the desert for as long as they have, through drought, through storms, through cold, through everything, to give it the flavors that it develops. All right, let's jump in with our members and see what comments we got. Hello, E-Fits, how are you? Andy Sandoval's here. Hey, Andy. Jason Slater says indicative of liqueur, just like exactly. It's more like a liqueur than it is a tequila, but they can still call it tequila because it falls below the 4% threshold, where when you put calming additives and stuff in, you're allowed by Mexican law up to 1% of the total volume of additives in a tequila without putting it on the label. You can still call it 100% agave. And there's 4 different, so it's 4% total. So it could actually be 96% agave, 4% additives, and you don't have to put that on the label, and you can still call it 100% agave. So there's some, tricky things in there. And if you ask a lot of these distillers, hey, do you put additive? They will swear up and down that they don't. Until you show them proof and say, well, look, this is what I got. And then they go, okay, yeah, you caught me. We use additives. Happens all the time. So if those are you that are rock fans that are angry at me, I'm sorry. I just tell it the way it is. So yeah, this is more like a liqueur than it is an actual tequila. It really lacks the depth that I like to see in a good añejo. If you're somebody that can't stand agave flavor and just wants something sweet and want to own a brand by The Rock, then go ahead and buy it. It's not good. You mentioned he enjoyed Don Julio tequila. Did he achieve a similar taste with the añejo as Don Julio at a cheaper price? No, he didn't. No. No, Don Julio. There's something that's been off about Don Julio. They're buying. I think they're buying. Well, they're pretty sure they're buying juice from Productofino too. The way the quality of Don Julio has gone now, it's gotten bad. So, but this is, I think, less flavor than Don Julio does. But Don Julio still has a bitterness that's a little bigger than his is. But they're both not good. So no, he didn't do Don Julio at a cheaper price. Nope, he missed. If that's what he was shooting for, he missed. But still, Don Julio's not good either. So both of them are crap. Don Julio used to be really, really good when it was actually made by Julio Gonzalez and his family. It was great. Back in the day, I used to love Don Julio, but ever since it was sold, it's gone downhill, and it's got this funky bitterness to it. I just can't drink it anymore, so I don't even touch Don Julio. And they got their Cristalino too, which is a bunch of additives in that. They put additives in the 1942 there, so the fact they use additives in this too could be he's trying to go for that, but this is a total no good. Do not buy from the Hombre. All right, so any other questions? Anything else you guys want to know about in regards to Teremana and the tasting of this tequila? All right, no? Okay. Well, if any questions come up, please comment below. Let me know. Don't forget to give me a like for the information that I shared with you guys today. And like I always say, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications from when we go live. We will be doing a group tasting on the Cascanes Single Barrel Reposado tomorrow on Instagram. I will post on my Facebook page the information on that, so make sure you guys join us for that. What is this? I find it kind of disturbing that someone like The Rock, who is in amazing shape, would want to put that. I know. But we don't know. I mean, he could be in amazing shape, but we don't know whether he, is a total all natural type of guy either. I mean, but yeah, you'd think. Well, and it could be too that he just doesn't know. Just because they put additives in it doesn't mean that he knows that they put additives in it. They could have just said, "Here, now try this version. What do you think of this?" And then he tastes it and goes, "Oh yeah, that's really good. I really like the taste." Because he's not a tequila expert. He doesn't know a lot of things about tequila, probably. And so he's probably like, "Yeah, that tastes good. Let's go with that." And then Productofino's like, "Yeah, all right, and we know how many additives to put in it." So for all we know, he may not know that there's additives in it. And Rock, if you're watching this, yeah. Rock, if you're watching this, if you want to sit down and try some really good tequilas, dude, hit me up, man. I'll invite you over here. I'll take you on a tour of tequila that you wish you would have had before you made this. I'm here in Southern California. Send me a note. We'd love to have you over. I'll cook dinner, and I'll taste you through some really good tequilas, and see what you think. And we can even do a side by side with yours, and you'll notice the difference. So the invite's open. Message me. Glad to help. You're welcome, Jason. You too. Have a good night. And I'm going to call it. So, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So, leave Teremana on the shelf. Sorry. And grab something else I recommend. Watch my other videos. All right. Hopefully, we'll see you guys on Instagram. I might be on later tonight, so you can keep an eye out for me. But definitely tomorrow for the Cascanes tasting. Look for the posting on the time and stuff on that. And we'll see you.